Hey guys, I'm Ornella Hernandez with Web3 TV, and I'm at the Blockdown Festival in Portugal. Joining me is Sergio, the founder of Hermes Protocol and Momentum One. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's nice to be here in Algarve. So, yeah.
You are from Portugal, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes?
I'm born and raised in Lisbon. I worked 4 years in Belgium, but I came back in 2021.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about the companies that you founded and what your mission is in the Web3 space.
Absolutely. So with Momentum One, we are a digital services company. We're actually the premier Discord builder of sorts kind of company. We've built communities that like Sweatcoin, Leonardo AI, actually one of the top 10 Discords in the world with 1.8 million users. And basically, we do everything on a very technical end of things, not marketing. But basically, we just help these businesses create like a solid foundation for their community, make sure that they don't get hacked in the future. They have a really solid user experience, which is really important for onboarding. And then basically after we started this company, we've realized that something that our clients were constantly asking for us is to build bots for notification related stuff. So that's how the idea to build Hermes Protocol came about. So we decided to build a platform that allowed people to get notifications for Web3 events that matter to them. So these can be things like liquidations, or actually before they happen, listings of tokens and NFTs, governance proposals for DAOs. If you're participating on multiple DAOs, it's very hard to stay coordinated.
How do you advise your clients that you work with to keep all that information together? Or what tools do you use to help simplify their lives, basically?
Yeah, so basically any user can sign up on Hermes Protocol. It's free, and once you're there, you can create like basically a new monitoring for whatever event you would like to monitor. So if you, for example, a very typical use case is monitoring your wallet for NFT sales. The reason for this is because you control when you list them on a marketplace, but you don't know when you've actually sold them, right? So by doing this, then we monitor your wallet for you, and whenever you sell an NFT, ka-ching, you know when you've sold it. So it also, if you're like a responsible delegator and you're staking with multiple validators, it's very hard to keep track if they're active, if they change their commission, and so on. You may be losing out on money because they've changed their commission and you only realize it months in advance. Months later. So we can just notify you when that happens. One of your validators that you've staked with has changed their commission. So yeah.
Okay, and how did you get into the Web3 space in the first place? Was there like a story, a defining moment that was like, I have to work in this space?
Yeah, definitely. Right now, I guess it's a funny story. I guess right now it's a funny story. So my first contact with DeFi, where I went deep dive, was with Anchor Protocol, which by now most people have PTSD with it, including myself, of course. But it was a very positive experience while it lasted. I basically, as I mentioned before, I was outside of Portugal, and I was having like a nice paycheck, and I was starting to racking up some finances, and I wanted to know where I could put my money in to basically fight inflation. So with Anchor Protocol, I thought, well, 20% APY per year. I mean, that's insane. I mean, APY is a period. So I decided to learn more about the platform. I got interested in it, and as I started going more and more into it, I found that it's a really interesting ecosystem, and I wanted to build more on it. So I started asking people what were their struggles and so on. And yeah, with Discord, that was a very common thing among founders.
Personally, I don't love Discord. I don't use it. I've gotten scammed there before. I find it too many pop-ups. It's like threatening. I don't know. I don't like it.
So, that kind of reaction is something I really want to fight for. Like, I want people to love Discord as much as I do, and that's actually like a very strong reason of why I created Momentum One.
Okay, good. And what about in real life? How would you describe the Portuguese crypto community?
I'm in love. Really. I mean, as a Portuguese person myself, I've never been like a nationalist. Like as I was growing up, I always liked to be international. Like I've always been very connected to the online communities, which is actually something I really love about Web3 is that we know no borders, right? I love that concept. But then, coming back to Portugal and seeing all of these different hubs, all of the different communities popping up, the different companies, people from outside that are coming into Portugal. Like a lot of my clients were asking me like, hey, I know you're from Portugal, how do I move there, right?
Everyone seemed to be trying to move here
Yeah.
at some point last year. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's a bit cliche, but first it was the weather, right? But then it's as everyone started pouring into Portugal, they were like, shit, everyone's there, I gotta be there as well. Then it's the networking, it's the community, it's everything. So it's been very heartwarming to see it grow, for sure. Yeah.
All right, I love it. And so what are you looking forward to at Blockdown Festival? I know we're almost at the end of day one, but for day two, what else are you excited about?
Right. Well, there's some interesting talks. Definitely a bit different than I think most of the other conferences. This is much more fashion related, metaverse, and so on, which is. I don't want to say less serious because that can be a bit damaging, but like it's different from like DeFi, finance, and so on. I think it's more to the ground. For the retail person, it's easier to understand, right? And I think that's really important if we want to onboard more people from Web2. It can't just be finance because a lot of people just don't like it.
It's not
They like
fun.
money, but they don't like finance, right? So, yeah. So
I'm one of those people.
well, yeah. On my side, apart from the talks, I'm really looking forward to meeting other founders, expand my network, of course. On the Momentum One side, I'm already connecting with different marketing agencies. We want to make sure that whatever they create for their clients is the best as it possibly can be. Building a Discord is very technical, and marketing agencies, they're very much about the strategy and even the execution and so on, but they don't have technical people, right? They don't have engineers, and we can help with that bridge. Then on the Hermes Protocol side, I want to talk with other founders that may want to be interested in experimenting with our platform, maybe giving us feedback, and yeah, that's essentially it.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Sergio.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for having me.